everybody, it's me, Rebel Piggy, here with a brand new episode, and today's recipe is Flan de Queso, and that means cheese flan. So here we have a pan, a sheet pan that has a lip that's about 1.5 inches tall, and we are going to add as much water as we can to fill up at least halfway or 3/4 of the way up the side of this pan. And this is going to be our Baño de Maria or Virgin Mary bath. This will help us in the cooking process, and we set our oven at 350 degrees. Now we have a pot that we are going to use to make our caramel. This is a non-stick pot, by the way. We are going to add 1 cup of sugar, and this is just plain white sugar. Add that in there, and you are going to use a wooden spoon. A wooden spoon! And we're setting this at medium to medium-low heat. We're going to fluctuate it back and forth. Excuse me. Woo! While we're doing this, we're going to constantly stir this sugar around, and we are looking for a golden color. First, it's going to be like a yellow color, then it's going to be a golden yellow color, and then we're going to have almost like a honey darker golden color. And once you get to this point, be very careful. It can burn very quickly, and we don't want to get it any more browner than this. Okay, so once you see it that it's that color, you're good. You can pour it into your 9-inch cake pan. And once you get that all into your pan, you're going to try to shift it around so that it coats the entire bottom of your pan. And please be careful, like right now it's cool to the touch, the pan itself. However, the sugar is so hot that it will continue to heat this pan up. So please be very careful. And we want to settle that into the bottom as much as we can. Once it gets to a certain point, all you can do is just set it aside. I used a pair of gloves to move that because it got so hot. Now we're moving on to our mixture. We're using 1 can of evaporated milk, 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Then we're going to be using a tablespoon of vanilla, followed by 4 room temperature large eggs, and 1 pack. Did you guys hear that? That was my dog. 1 pack of Philadelphia cream cheese. That's about 8 ounces of cheese. You can also just use 6 ounces. Again, make sure everything is room temperature, because once you start to add these items and you start to blend it up, if that cheese, especially the cheese, is not room temperature, it's going to be very hard, or it's going to take a little bit longer for you to mix this all together, blend it up, and have it into a very smooth consistency. We don't want to have any lumps or any separation of this mixture when you put it into your cake pan, because the texture of it just won't be smooth at all. It just won't taste as good, right? And the texture is a very, very important thing when it comes to flan. So now we're going to whip it up for at least, I want to say like 4 minutes, okay? I kind of blitzed it a little bit, did the pulse, then I blitzed it for the 4 to 5 minutes. Then I opened it up. I took a spatula, or what's that thing called? I guess it's called a spatula. Yeah, spatula. What's wrong with me? A spatula, ran it down the sides to get the cream cheese off of the sides, and then I blitzed it up again. And we're going to make sure that's very consistent. And once you do take this off and you're about to pour it, like say if you even like let it settle for a few minutes, please shake it up again. Okay, you'll see me shake it up here. And that is our caramel at the bottom of that pan that you see. It has cracked, and you will hear it start to crack while you're preparing the rest of your ingredients, and that's exactly what you're looking for. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just getting cool, and you want it cool before you put this mixture in here. Otherwise, your caramel will start to seep into the mixture itself, and it will mess up the cooking time and the finishing product of this flan. So slowly move that into your preheated oven, very slowly. Be careful with the sides, be careful with the water. It is all heated up. Set the pan in a place where the water will reach up to at least halfway up or more if you can, so that it can bake properly. Let it bake for 40 minutes, and then we're coming back with our knife. This is a paring knife. I wet it beforehand. I'm checking if it's done, and it is not. You'll see that there's still some of that mixture there. And we're gonna leave it again for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And every time I did that, I made sure to turn it, like, did a quarter turn on it, just to make sure that it was very even. And you'll see here, the reason why I have the pan in the front right side of the oven is because of the way that this house is level. Everything's kind of like coming over to that side, and so because of that, I had to move the pan because that's where the majority of the water was going to. So that's what you see there. And again, doing a quarter turn every so often just to make sure that the flan is being cooked evenly. Closing that up. And also, if you see that there's some water that's evaporating, fill it up. Just make sure that you don't get that water into your pan. This was the final time. I checked it. It was good. We're taking it out. And it will be jiggly. Do not fear. It will be jiggly. That is fine, but it is done. And it looks pretty there, but it's not even... That's not even anything, dudes. You're gonna see. It's gonna be beautiful. Now, it's been sitting for like 5 minutes. I ran a knife along the sides, and then I kind of shifted it back and forth, and you'll see that the caramel will start to come up the sides. That's actually what is preventing this mixture from sitting or sticking to the pan, is the caramel. And I always thought that was super cool whenever my mom did that. She would always make these all the time. Once it's cooled for 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to flip it very quickly. Do not take your time with that because it's gonna be a mess. Take off the pan, and you come out with this beautiful thing. I just started almost crying when I saw this. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And I just took like a million pictures of it. I put it on Instagram. I sent it to my mom. I sent it to my dad. It was beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And then that mirror reflection, don't get me started with that. It was just amazing. And it's been so long since I've had this. And I thought that for the holiday season, why not make this? Because I always remember every time there was a holiday, every time there was a party, my mom would make this. And everybody loved this. And I always loved it because she always made it with the cheese. And when other people made it, it just wasn't the same. And this is just my childhood right here. And look at, oh my god, just cutting into that, it's just like gorgeous. Also, with the cheese that's in here, it's going to give it a sticky consistency. It's also going to give it a bit of a savory taste. So if you're one of those people like me, where you're not a huge fan of sweets, but you like to indulge every once in a while, this is one of those things where you can keep eating it without feeling like overrun by the sweet. And it's very custard-like, a little bit sticky. It's just beautiful. I hope you guys try this recipe out, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please leave them down in the comments below. If you liked it, please smash that like button. I can't believe I just said that. I didn't mean to. But anyways, love you, miss you, bye.